Well, when they came out, it's really interesting how many ties they have with different bands, and it's something that we've like grown up with listening to, whether it's directly or from different associative bands, and yeah, it's just really inspiring. That time in music was incredible, especially in the UK, and the success they had in America as well. I think we can really relate with that coming over, and it's great. I think they're such an important band in the UK, well, worldwide.
Yeah, I think you always learn something when you're coming in and studying a track and laying it down. I mean, I guess like vocally, this track has like some really unique like little runs that I don't really particularly do anything like that. So it was interesting to kind of put my own spin on it, or even straighten it out a bit more. So vocally, I mean, I always learn something new when we do a cover, and yeah, I mean, I guess you can't help but sort of learn from it, and you apply it. I enjoy sometimes doing these kind of things. I'm sort of like, oh, okay, I wouldn't do that. Can I do it? I don't know. Let me give it a go. It doesn't sound bad. Let me try it again, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever heard my voice coming out the speakers doing something like that. And then once you kind of get the hang of it, putting your own personality into it as well is always a fun thing to do. I mean, Jed, you changed quite a lot of the bass, sort of the approach,
Yeah, there's some kind of funkier parts in it. They're just as the octaves runs, and I kind of played around with that a little bit and added there's quite a lot of like steady pedaling on one note. And so without overkill, I try to take it to a few different places to have some fun with it.
Being the guitar player, I like all the guitar parts. I think the solo is really cool. I think the tones are really cool. I think the chord progression in the chorus is kind of weird.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I had to second guess it working out the bass parts. I was like, are we sure that's where it goes? Play it again. And I'm like, that's where it goes. And it's fun, man.
I kept messing it up because it wasn't going where I thought it would. But
definitely keeps you on your toes, trying to, especially the structure. Like
the arrangement's like quite odd. It's like on the surface you think it's quite a simple song, and traditionally it'd be like verse, chorus, bridge, or a solo, and then you're going back into a chorus, sometimes double, and like an outro. But this is like you have the intro, and then it goes into a verse, and it comes with like a re-intro, then like the second half of the first verse, and then half a chorus.
No, just
into another sort of guitar section. Then it goes into second half of the chorus.
The song with that structure is usually over 5 minutes.
Yeah,
but it's 3 minutes.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Which is always a good sign. If you can have a lot of great parts in a track, or at least spread out the traditional sort of like aspects of a song, and it comes within that sort of time frame. That's a great achievement.
Yeah, 3 verses in a 3-minute song.
Yeah, that's
a feat.
Yeah, it's a feat. I think at the time when the band was first formed, I personally felt that if I was to be in a group, take it really seriously and run with it, it had to have elements of the golden bygone eras of rock and roll music. Not to sort of like diss anything on a lot of the modern groups. I think as an individual, because a lot of people who were kind of my age were into things that were a bit more modern, I felt like when I discovered like all of these groups that were 70s based, like late 60s, some of the most talented artists, bands, really sort of did exist in that era, and were the ones that were really pushing songs and even the technology as well, as far as it could go. If you want the spirit of rock and roll, that era of music at that particular time reached a point which has now become sort of the blueprint of what it is to be, quote, in a rock and roll band. Whether it's the songs, whether it's the, you know, behavior and the attitude, the fashion, you know, it kind of all started in that era. So it's hard to not look back there if you're talking about what is the spirit of rock and roll.
Even back when like we first started, like the ambition was like, oh, we want to be the biggest band in the world, and that's kind of like where the spirit came from, I guess. We all like different styles of music as well. Yeah, I think
that puts the twist on our own sound as well, right? Like all these influences coming together, and then you wouldn't get this in any other scenario, right? So then, you know, we've been together for 12 years now, so it's...
That's what Ad says, that the common goal is the main thing. It's like, we all love that performance element. As we were saying, like slightly different musical influences. To Geth's point, 12 years in a band. Being in a band's hard. To make it 12 years, like we've seen many bands have like hits and dip out, and we're kind of tighter than ever now. So it's like, that's the common goal as much as the music. Did I play the bass parts right?
Yeah, I would like to know, like, because I feel like it's a, I don't know, from what I got from it, it was like, and I'd be curious to know when he sort of like thought of the idea, because is this coming from a perspective of a group that are just starting out and they're playing like these pubs, and he's sort of imagining the future and the common goals of the group and being like, hence, you know, this is part of like my rock and roll fantasy that I will live out? Or was it something that was done after the fact upon reflection? That I'd be curious to sort of work that out and ask him that.
And did it live up to
His expectations?
Yeah.
Ask them when they're inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That's the fantasy.
Here come the dancers.